Welcome to another Khan Academy support video. Here we're going to be looking at the last or the sixth assignment for this week called Slope from 2 Points. Before we get started on this first problem and start calculating slope from 2 points, we're just going to do a quick review on slope from the last lesson, the last assignment. As you remember, slope measures our rate of change. Sometimes it's on a graph. We could use rise over run, but other times you're just going to be given equations or 2 points and you'll have to calculate slope without a graph. So if I'm just given 2 points and I don't have a graph to visually calculate my slope, I need to remember slope measures how much does the y variable change by compared to or divided by how much does the x variable change by. So if I have 2 points already from a graph, all I need to do is start measuring specifically how much y changes by and divide it by how much x changes by. So here for this problem we're given 2 points. I'm going to write those down. It says what is the slope of the line that passes through -7 and -8 for our first point, and then the other point it's going to pass through is 0 and 4. So I'm going to actually stack those on top of each other. It goes through 2 points, point 1, -7 and -8, good thing I double checked, and point 2 goes through 0 and 4. So now if slope is going to measure rate of change, y change divided by x change, I really just need to go ahead and measure between these 2 points from point 1 to point 2 how much did y change by and how much did x change by. I see y goes from -8, at first the y is -8, and then it goes to 4. So to get from -8 to +4, I have to travel by a total of up by 12 units. To get from -8 to 0, I would go up by 8. I go up by 4 more to get to +4. 8 and 4 means I traveled up by 12 units, or grew by 12 units on the y value if it went from -8 to +4. So that's my y change for the slope. And now I need to measure what happened to the x value. Well, the x went from -7 and it grew to become 0. So x gained value, just like the y did, and x gained 7 units of value, while the y gained 12 units of value. So y is changing by 12 units every time x is growing by 7 units. If I look at my answer choices, I see 12 over 7 is listed as one of the options for slope. You see here these 12 and the 7, they're messing with you. Sometimes they're trying to mess if you put the x on the top instead of the y. That's what D is trying to distract. And then also, slopes being positive or negative is a key point we'll have to pay attention to. So again, if I have 2 points and I'm asked to find slope, for me, the biggest or easiest way to do that is go ahead, write those 2 points together and measure, actually, how much does y grow by, how much does x grow by. So here again, I want to know my slope, my y change divided by my x change. So I'm going to write down these 2 points here from problem 2. It says, what is the slope of the line, what is the slope of the line that goes through -1 and 8 and 3 and -4? So -1 and 8 is 1 point, 3 and -4 is the second point it travels through. So here, for slope, we're first going to measure the y change that goes on the top, which can be a little strange given that when we list the location of a point, the y comes latter or second. So I see the y value starts out at 8 and then it travels to -4. So to get from +8 to -4, we're going down, we're decreasing. I have to lose 8 units just to get to 0, 4 more to get to -4, so I've lost a total of 12 units to get from +8 to -4. At the same time that the y was losing 12 units, the x value goes from -1 to +3. That means it's gained value if it went from a negative up to a positive number. To get from -1 to +3, we gain 1 to get to 0, 3 more to get to +3, or a total of +4 units to get from -1 to +3. So my y change was -12, y lost 12 units of value here, and the x value gained 4. So y is losing 12 units for every 4 x's. I look on my answer choices, and I don't see 12 and 4 anywhere. What's important to realize is slope can often be simplified, and if it can, you need to simplify it. 12 divided by 4 divides perfectly to 3 over 1, and a negative divided by a positive always produces a negative. So our slope is negative 3 over 1, and you'll see Khan Academy just lists that slope as more simply negative 3, meaning y loses 3 every time the x gains 1. We're going to provide one more example here, but again, it's pretty systematic to find slope if you're given 2 points. Your job is to measure the y change, compare it to the x change, and that is what slope's defined as. So here we see this line travels through 2 points. It starts out with an x value of -2 and a y value of -6. And then the line later on passes through an x value of 2 and a y value of +2. So measuring my y change first, the y goes from -6 to +2. That's gaining value. It goes from a negative to a positive, and specifically it gained 8 units. It goes up by 6, and then by 2 more to get to +2. 6 and 2 gives me a +8. The x value travels from -2 all the way to +2. That's also gaining value. It gained 4 units to get from -2 up to +2. So that means my y change is 8, +8. My x change, it gained 4 units, so y is gaining 8 units for this graph every time x is gaining 4 units. It means a slope of 8 over 4. I don't see 8 over 4 anywhere on these answer choices. That's because 8 over 4 can be simplified. 8 divided by 4 gives us 2 over 1. Or Khan Academy just simplifies that even further to a slope of +2. I hope that was helpful. If you're stuck at all, please, as always, be resourceful. Use Khan Academy's Get Help feature. Use Sal Khan's videos that are attached to these assignments. And you can always feel free to send me an email if you need some more direct support. Keep up the great work.